Alexander, Caesar, Charlemagne, and I have founded empires. But on what did we rest the creations of our genius? Upon force. Jesus Christ founded his empire upon love, and at this hour millions of men would die for him. This soldier, I realized, must have had friends at home and in his regiment, yet he lay there deserted by all except his dog. I looked on, unmoved, at battles which decided the future of nations. Tearless, I had given orders which brought death to thousands. Yet here I was stirred, profoundly stirred to tears. And by what? By the grief of one dog. Napoleon Bonaparte, on finding a dog beside the body of his dead master, licking his face and howling, on a moonlit field after a battle. Napoleon was haunted by this scene until his own death. There are but two powers in the world, the sword and the mind. In the long run the sword is always beaten by the mind. The reason most people fail instead of succeed is they trade what they want most for what they want at the moment. When a government is dependent upon bankers for money, they and not the leaders of the government control the situation, since the hand that gives is above the hand that takes. Money has no motherland, financiers are without patriotism and without decency, their sole object is gain. As for me, to love you alone, to make you happy, to do nothing which would contradict your wishes, this is my destiny and the meaning of my life. The hand that gives is among the hand that takes. Money has no fatherland, financiers are without patriotism and without decency, their sole object is gain. The extent of your consciousness is limited only by your ability to love and to embrace with your love the space around you, and all it contains. Great ambition is the passion of a great character. Those endowed with it may perform very good or bad acts. All depends on the principles which direct them. All great events hang by a single thread. The clever man takes advantage of everything, neglects nothing that may give him some added opportunity. The less clever man, by neglecting one thing, sometimes misses everything. To write history one must be more than a man, since the author who holds the pen of this great justiciary must be free from all preoccupation of interest or vanity. One must learn to forgive and not to hold a hostile, bitter attitude of mind, which offends those about us and prevents us from enjoying ourselves. One must recognize human shortcomings and adjust himself to them rather than to be constantly finding fault with them. If the art of war were nothing but the art of avoiding risks, glory would become the prey of mediocre minds. I have made all the calculations, fate will do the rest. One must indeed be ignorant of the methods of genius to suppose that it allows itself to be cramped by forms. Forms are for mediocrity, and it is fortunate that mediocrity can act only according to routine. Ability takes its flight unhindered. The love of glory is like the bridge that Satan built across chaos to pass from hell to paradise. Glory links the past with the future across a bottomless abyss. Nothing to my son, except my name. From triumph to downfall there is but one step. I have noted that, in the most momentous occasions, mere nothings have always decided the outcome of the greatest events. We are made weak both by idleness and distrust of ourselves. Unfortunate, indeed, is he who suffers from both. If he is a mere individual, he becomes nothing. If he is a king, he is lost. All great events hang by a hair. The man of ability takes advantage of everything and neglects nothing that can give him a chance of success, whilst the less able man sometimes loses everything by neglecting a single one of those chances. Lead the ideas of your time and they will accompany and support you. Fall behind them and they drag you along with them. Oppose them and they will overwhelm you. It is not true that men never change. They change for the worse, as well as for the better. It is not true they are ungrateful. More often the benefactor rates his favors higher than their worth, and often too he does not allow for circumstances. If few men have the moral force to resist impulses, most men do carry within themselves the germs of virtues as well as of vices, of heroism as well as of cowardice. Such is human nature. Education and circumstances do the rest. Among so many conflicting ideas and so many different perspectives, the honest man is confused and distressed, and the skeptic becomes wicked. Since one must take sides, one might as well choose the side that is victorious, the side which devastates, loots, and burns. Considering the alternative, it is better to eat than to be eaten. What are the conditions that make for the superiority of an army? Its internal organization, military habits in officers and men, the confidence of each in themselves, that is to say, bravery, patience, and all that is contained in the idea of moral means. It is a mistake, too, to say that the face is the mirror of the soul. The truth is, men are very hard to know, and yet, not to be deceived, we must judge them by their present actions, but for the present only.